Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, my name is Candice and I create Christian content through my life as a web designer and an illustrator. And today guys, we have big news. We are officially 100 subscribers in. Yeah, me imagine confetti. Right, so 100 of you guys have joined the Faithful Creative community. Thank you guys so much, so much. So in today's video, I'll be creating a wedding invitation website. Yes, a digital form of an invitation. So if you guys are interested in that, because it is a product that I'm selling on Upwork. So if you guys are interested, you can definitely click the link in the description and get your digital invitation. So in addition to the invitation being digital, it also has an awesome RSVP feature. Picture this, right? You're having a wedding and you need persons to RSVP. And then you have a certain amount of persons that are only allowed to have a +1. Well, this form, this website can definitely do that because it's a smart form. Yes, you heard me. So basically, if Tom Harry needs to have a +1, whenever Tom Harry adds his name to the form, then the option for +1 will appear. And that will only be available for Tom Harry because the form knows his name, if you get what I'm saying. Along with other features, this website is definitely catered to occasions for baby shower, weddings, parties, you name it. The website can be designed to whatever theme you guys have in mind. So yes, promo. I'm inserting my own promo. So if you guys are interested in purchasing a digital website, you guys can definitely click the link in the description. And without further ado, let's get started in designing this website. So right off the bat, I apologize for the Star Wars kind of feel that's happening in the front part of the video. The idea was to have it being a bit, I was trying to be a bit creative to see how the dark mode would look, but yeah, never did it wasn't giving, so I changed it probably like in the middle of the video. So yeah, I just want to add that in there. This was not the vibe I was going for. So for this website, it has a nautical theme, like the seafarer kind of theme, blues, the golds, the whites, yeah, that sort of theme. So when starting a design for any website, I would normally use Pinterest to get my vision board ready, just to have an idea of the things that I would want to be on the website, and the style and the types of fonts that I would be interested in. I incorporated not just websites that would have like a nautical theme, but there are some features that I liked on some websites in terms of like how they place the pictures, the positions of the fonts, if they are using floral arrangements like elements on the website, along with if they're using what can I say now, the colored backgrounds that they would normally use. So everything would normally be considered when I'm creating my vision board. And as I said, Pinterest is always my go-to when it comes to choosing things for my website. After creating the vision board, I would normally jump into wireframing and then doing the prototype. But because this website is just to showcase what I can do, I'm not doing the wireframing. I'm just going to jump into designing the prototype. So I after the vision board, I then go into Envato. And I said this in my first video, I think, of designing a website. Envato has been a game changer for me. So I'm searching for like textured background, textured paper backgrounds, right? Because I want the website to have like a letter feel. So yes, it's digital, but I want the background for it to look like a craft paper, if you get what I'm saying. So on Envato, you can see that there's a lot of options. And even though the first option that I chose, I didn't like it, I'll explain it when it comes on the screen. I still could have found other options that were really fitting for the idea that I had for this nautical theme website. So when it came on to the first textured background that I chose, I wasn't feeling it. When I added it to Canva, it was too shiny. And when you have a letter, like when you're using the craft paper, it's a bit dull. And yeah, it's a bit dull, so there's not much shine to it. And this just gave me like a disco ball kind of feel. And it wasn't cohesive with the design I had in mind. And so I tried a lot of options that I got from that first download, and none of them fit. Then, as I mentioned earlier, like Envato has so many options. So I went again and scoured through the internet, and lo and behold, I definitely found the perfect match. It was a bit dark, so what I did was to lighten it on Canva. You know, it's crazy. I'm using Canva, but I have Photo Affinity, the paid version, but I am just finding it so hard to use Photo Affinity sometimes because of just how technical it is. Mind you, I love it, I love it. It's definitely a better alternative or a cheaper alternative to Photoshop. I don't know what's happening with my voice. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know why my voice started to change. But anywho, as I was saying, Affinity Photo is definitely a game changer in terms of it being cheaper than Photoshop. And it's really good, like really good. It's just that it's a bit of a learning curve, especially because I didn't know how to use Photoshop either. So Canva was like my go-to, but now I need to start incorporating Affinity Photo in my workflow, because the more I use it, the more I'll definitely get the hang of it. So the first idea I had was to basically join all of these illustrations to let it look like they were spread. It was one picture spread across the hero section of the website. But as you can see, they weren't fitting, probably because they're not like one photo divided into separate parts. They are actually different illustrations, almost looking as if they were one. So that idea didn't work out. So after that idea failed, I decided to have like gaps in between the illustrations to give that, I don't know with a name, but the vision was to have like gaps in between, and then to add the lighthouse in the middle, so like that would kind of represent union. Yeah, in my head, it makes sense, so just work with me. So the lighthouse would kind of like represent union, and then you'd have like boats on both sides trying to get over to the lighthouse, right? So that they can be one, so that they can join, so that they can meet. It's a wedding. That's the vibe I was going for. But when I did it, when I actually started to put it on the canvas, yeah, it it never looked good to me. I never like it. I wasn't feeling it, but I was still trying to push through it because I was saying, this is just the first part. Probably it's going to get better after this. So I continued to brainstorm and work with the idea to see it through. So now I'm in Figma. This is the prototype tool that I use to create my designs, and then I would normally send them to my clients for them to approve it or request adjustments and those sort of stuff. And this is also where I would typically do my wireframing. For this part, I basically transferred the background that I made on Canva to Figma, so I can do more adjustments, right? I had the idea of joining the letters of the first names of the persons and add the helm in between that. And if you don't know the helm is like AKA the steering wheel of the ship, right? So that was the idea in mind, but as I say, like this design that I had, I was just trying to stick with it because I was saying probably there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So as I was there trying to fix it in my head, it wasn't coming off the way I wanted it to, and to me it kind of just looked tacky. So I started changing design after that thought. So now I removed the helm and added a rope. So I was trying to give I feel like my thoughts were just saying like I had to include all elements that I got from Envato that had the nautical theme. So I was just saying, I have to use the rope, because that's a part of the whole theme, and I have to use the ribbon, and yeah, I felt like that's the mindset I had, and so it felt forced. Like this design really felt forced to me, and yeah, it kind of look cutesy, but yeah, the design was just not popping for me. As much as I was trying to work with this initial idea, yeah, it wasn't flowing. It felt a bit rigid for me. So now we're back on Canva, and I wanted to do like a photo collage kind of here section to showcase the engagement photos for the couple. And yeah, it turned out good, but I didn't get to film the ending of creating that because I got really tired. But anywho, it was a good thing that I took some shut eye because I dreamt of the perfect design. The next design was definitely what I was going for when I thought of a nautical theme. So knowing my bad habits, I know that as soon as I wake up, I tend to forget a dream. So I just took out my notepad and I started sketching how I saw the website in my dream. And surprisingly, a lot of the stuff that I had in my dream, I could have found them on Envato. Now, this is not a promo. I'm just saying how I came up with the design of the website, right? So I just started to sketch out everything because if I try to keep it in my mind, then eventually either I'll forget or I'll become too fixated on trying to remember then I'll get frustrated at myself for not being able to create the website because I was just so fixated on trying to remember. So just like to alleviate all of those things, I'm just going to sketch it in my book. And surprisingly, even though to you it might not look like something, this definitely held it down for me. Jumping right back into Figma. As much as I'm not a pro level Figma user, I do still know a bit of tricks, alt click to duplicate. For the idea that I had, or for the dream that I had, there was like this water effect at the hero section, right, with the rope basically encircling the initials of the couple. So I got started with getting the background from Envato, of course, and I did like a little blur effect, and I reduced the opacity to get that look of water, like a beach kind of look. And then on top of that, I wanted to add some flowers to the website just to give that elegant kind of look. And so these flowers definitely matched the whole theme of this soft nautical vibe that I was going for. I didn't want the roughness, the rough, rigid kind of feel that I was going for in the previous design. This one is a bit more soft, so the flowers definitely added to that look. And of course, because it's a nautical theme, I'll definitely be adding some seashells, some you can say no, some seaweed, some stones, some rocks, all those sorts of things that you typically find in the water, the sea. I'll definitely try to add them throughout the website and reduce its opacity so it looks as if it's submerged in water or it's a bit far in the water, if you get what I'm saying. There's distance, so I wanted to have that sort of dimension when it came on to the visual appearance of the website. For the name section, I did not film the part where I found the font. The font is definitely on Figma. It's just that it took me so long to find it because I wanted the perfect font. I didn't want something that was too straight. I didn't want something that was too curvy. I didn't want something that was too thin. So like there were so many options that I had to really take my time to sift through, and then I finally found the one that really stood out to me, that wasn't a bit curvy but still had curve to it. And then for the and, because it was what's the name again? It was Cindy and Jacob. So for the and, I didn't want to use the same font. So since the names were more on the curvy side and the font was a bit more thick, I wanted to use a font that was more slimming, that would basically allow the names to stand out more. And so I opted to use a font that was on the skinnier side. I realized that I did make an error here. The names are Sydney and Jacob, right? But on the hero section of the website, the initials are J and C. And for any invitation when it comes to a wedding, the female name is first and then the male name, right? I'm assuming because the female takes the male's last name, so his name is last to represent that it's his last name. My assumption, but yes, I learned that while creating this website. So you'll see in the end of the video that I did go ahead and change the names just to match the initials, how they're set. And for the date section or the details of the wedding, it is important to have a design that flows. And so what I'll do oftentimes in my design is to use back a certain element that I would probably have at the top. I'll use it again at the bottom. And so I did that with the font that I use for the and. So with that font, I used it for the details of the wedding, which was the date and the time. And then I went back to using the paragraph font. I used it to highlight the information for the venues for the ceremony and the venue for the reception. So even though the helm did not work out in the initial design, I really wanted to bring it back into this second design, aka dream. So what I want to do is basically use these as buttons, and it is very possible with using Elementor or Elementor Pro. So I am using these buttons for the features where the couple would be able to direct persons to their Amazon registry for their wedding registry, or for a Target gift that they also have in terms of having a registry, and then PayPal or their bank details. And the bank detail could be it being taken to a page, or it could be a pop-up with the information. Now moving on to one of the most important parts to this website, which is the RSVP button. Now, I didn't want it to be just a normal square button or a rectangle button. I really wanted it to be a part of this design in terms of the nautical theme. So what I did was to use what we call like a floaty. I'm not sure if it's a floaty, but you can definitely let me know in the comment section. So I used the illustration of a floaty and a flower arrangement. And when I'm taking this off Figma in terms of downloading it to use it on the website, I can definitely merge the images together for it to be one, so I can use it as a button. So it won't be separate images being a button, if you get what I'm saying. And as I mentioned, this is very important because for your digital invitation, it is easy for persons to just request their dietary intake in terms of their preferred food choices when it comes on to the occasions, or you can allot persons a +1 based on their name, or a particular secret code that you probably tell them to input in order to get that feature popped up for them to use it. You can definitely allow persons to get reminders of your event when they have submitted their names and emails in terms of completing the form. So there are a lot of things that can be had with this RSVP form, and it is based on your preference. There are so many features that can be added to a RSVP website. For the footer section of the website, I also wanted to add a beach at the end of the page to give the vibe as if, you know, they're getting married on the beach. So that's the vibe I was going with. So once again, I did the blurry effect with the blue background to give that water appearance, and I definitely added in some nautical elements, you know, the shell, the starfish, all of those things, and I did the whole opacity change just to give dimension in terms of how far they are or how close they are. And I added the sun on top just to give it, you know, the beach look, along with some palm trees, and I think this is like a Christmas tree, I think. Everything flowed so well on the website. this is the end look. So this is just a picture, it's not the actual website. In my next video, I'll definitely create the full website and have a link in the description for you guys to take a look at it. But right now, this is just the full image of the website on my phone, and I'm able to scroll on it just to have an idea what it would look like on the mobile version. And I'm loving it so far. It is really beautiful. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. And yes, we are 100 strong and we have so much more room to grow. So thank you guys so much for watching this video again, and subscribe and like this video if you haven't. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And I look forward to seeing you guys when I post another video again. And once again, if you guys are interested in purchasing your own digital invitations, you guys can definitely use the link below to head over to Upwork, and we can definitely have a chat and start your project. See you guys until next time. Bye guys.